Welcome to the Ladies of Sound community chat, everyone. It's a space to connect, support, and celebrate each other, share stories and knowledge. We have some things we want to go over for those who have not been here before. We have some what we call house rules. This is just to heighten your experience here with us online. We are going to go to the next slide. And one moment. All right. So everybody, if you can please make sure you are on mute when you are not speaking, just so it doesn't pick up any background noise, and then we can hear each other talk and things like that. For your viewing experience, if you are not showing your video, or if you are and you don't want to see those boxes, you can click on the three dots on the top right hand corner and click do not show video, just to enhance your viewing experience. Again, don't be shy, use the chat and engage with the community. Please be kind and positive. Also use that time to get to know everybody, and drop your Instagram handles towards the end so we can all follow each other. When the Q&A portion begins, which is our favorite part, you can either click on the little raise your hand sign close to where it says chat, or you can type a 1 in the chat. And if you have any questions, we're going to go ahead and answer them in chronological order. And we would love for you to talk to our guest today yourself. So please proceed to unmute yourself once one of the moderators gives you the cue. And we are excited to have our special guest today. Before we get, my name is Maricel. I am the principal at the Beach Junkie Institute of Sound and founder of Ladies of Sound. And we have my partner, Sammy G. She's
hey,
PK, marketing admin at Beach Junkie Institute of Sound and the co-founder of Ladies of Sound. And our special guest, everybody, is, I call her Angela, but you all better know her as Spiñorita. Welcome, Angela. Say hello to everyone.
Hey, everybody. Nice to be here with you guys and gals and everyone who's in here.
Ooh, thank you so much for taking the time out to come and talk to us. When you've been in the game for a minute, we've seen you around. I've seen you at different events, Ladies Link Up, Ladies of Sound stuff. I think everyone knows you as one of the DJs with the dopest names in the game.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for coming through. As you guys know, Spiñorita can DJ on vinyl. She does it on Serato too. She does Club Diggy. She's at NTS Radio, and she also does her little thing called Sunday School. So she is a jack of all trades, Renaissance woman in our world right now. So thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming in. So yeah, let's get it started. Welcome everybody. All right, so Spiñorita, tell us about just how it even started it all for you. Just even the very, very beginning, what got you to even begin considering DJing as something to do? Was it a hobby at first? How did it go?
Well, I've always loved music. Music has been a part of me since I was born. Coming from the San Gabriel Valley, we are so used to having a backyard party for everything. So it could be like somebody's baptism, someone's birthday, someone's anniversary. So I've been dancing in the middle of the circle since I was like 5 years old. I have like videos of me battling people at quinceañeras. Like I really, really love to dance. So my whole family is just like a well of music knowledge and style. So I was so lucky to absorb all that when I was young. And then I finally got the urge to play and got my confidence up, because I always like put barriers in front of myself, like it's too expensive, I can't afford it, like I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where to start. And it's funny because I had a lot of friends that were DJs, but I never really thought I could do it. I would throw parties and I'd have the best DJs, but I just never considered it until I moved to LA. I was in the Bay for 10 years for college. I moved back. And then my best friend told me, she's like, I know you've been wanting to DJ, so why don't you play my New Year's Eve party? That was in 2010. So she's like, if you get all your equipment, just jump on and let's do it. So I did. I mean, my brother bought me one of my turntables and my mixer from a pawn shop. I got the other one from Craigslist, and we threw the fattest party. It went to like 6 in the morning. I had all vinyl because that's all I had. And then I ventured on to like saving money and getting a Serato box. And ever since then, it's just been like the most lovely, loving, most part of my life ever. Like it changed me completely. So I love it.
So you're I see this photo here. Your group, did you grow up in Alhambra? Is that
Mm-hmm.
dope? Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Alhambra. I call myself the queen of the bra.
Oh, I get it.
That's cool background. I've never seen that in Alhambra before.
Yeah, it's like our Arc de Triomphe in Alhambra. But yeah, I had to represent. Yeah.
Dope. So in terms of, I mean, obviously your love for music goes back for a long time. Were you collecting vinyl then, or is listening to music that's something that's always been a part of you, and the DJing part just didn't quite click right away?
Yeah, exactly. Like I got my first record when we went to Arizona. I think I was like 10 years old. My sister bought me my first record for Christmas. It's Just a Friend by Biz Markie. So I remember getting the record and I was just like, oh my God. And then after that, you know, I was always buying like singles at the warehouse and all those old school places we go buy music at. And then, yeah, just randomly like getting records from family, collecting. And then I think, like I said, like the confidence finally got up to where I'm like, I should just DJ. Like, I know all this music. People always ask me about music. I started a podcast, so I finally like stopped being in my head about it and overthinking it, and I just tried it. And I had a couple of people that definitely helped me out. I have to shout out Shred One. She's a DJ from the Bay Area, actually from Los Angeles, now in New York. I also have to shout out my boy DJ Antique. I didn't really learn from anyone, so I pretty much kind of got pointers from folks, and then just kept practicing. I sucked for a very long time. I quit for a little bit, and then I finally said, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going and just practiced my ass off. So
were you doing mobile gigs? Were you carrying all your things with you?
Oh my gosh, I did like the grandma's 50th birthday party, you know, like I did so many house parties in San Gabriel Valley. That's another reason why I rep it, because you know that's where I started. I paid my dues, like you would say. I mean, I carried big speakers by myself. You know, I had like I would say a mobile business for a little bit, just because that's where I could get gigs. I didn't really have any bar gigs or club gigs at the time. So when I started getting my name out there more, people started booking me more. So I finally started getting, like, my first gig was at what is it called? Not the Virgil. It's in, Carbon in Venice. My homeboy booked me. I was so nervous. It was all vinyl. All my friends came. That shit was packed. I was so honored. It was amazing. So yeah, that's kind of how it went for me.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise when you start off doing mobile, because you are forced to learn all the ins and outs of your equipment and the sound and the speakers, that once you were able to finally get that gig, even though you were nervous, I'm sure it was pretty easy to just kind of plug in and be able to just be there for whatever hour or two that you had a DJ, and you could leave if you wanted to leave, right?
Yeah, totally. And like making money off DJing, I was like, oh my God, you could do this? I mean, I never thought, you know, it just was like a love for music, and then it just started snowballing and I just kept going.
So when you transition from vinyl, and then here comes Serato, and that gets introduced, I mean, aside your back being like, yes, you're not having to carry all of that. You know, that's something, it seems like, you know, DJing, even though you had people to, you know, guide you and, you know, help you along the way. How was that like for that transition? And, you know, being self-taught, like, you know, that actually is something that I think a lot of people don't necessarily give themselves enough credit for when you don't have those kinds of resources necessarily. So how was that transition for you, going from vinyl, then going to the digital aspect of it?
It was like the part where I have all this music, all this new music that's not available on vinyl. So to me, it was very special to have that box so I could play all that music. But it was It was weird because it was kind of a challenge too. It was going from like using your ear to like looking at the screen. And I would get so paranoid of having like Serato face, you know, and not engaging with the crowd. Cause, you know, I know how it is. Like you're just trying to make sure your mix sounds good, your transition's good, and you could kind of lock into the screen. And I think now that I'm most comfortable on vinyl, I don't have to use the waves on Serato, but it was a challenge. I'm not gonna front. Like it wasn't just like, oh, I'm on Serato now. Like it was like, oh, okay. Just like how now we have to live stream, like that has been a challenge in itself, you know. So I feel like there's always technology to learn, you know. And I think it's the best to be able to play on any platform. I started learning on CDJs recently before the pandemic hit because I was going to go on tour, and I figured it'd probably be best to, you know, have USB sticks rather. I was going to take vinyl too, actually, but yeah, I started learning on CDJs, and it was so fun, you know, like something so different for me. So I guess that's a little piece of advice I have for people is any equipment you can learn, I would do it. Like I'm not the type of person that's vinyl only. Like, nah, I admire anyone who could rock any equipment and still kill it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my view on that.
No, that's
I'm not just
awesome.
vinyl only, you know, but yeah, I
No,
love it though.
of course. I mean, the vinyl helped you build a lot more solid
Yeah.
foundation and not so reliant on the technology. But I guess, you know, the big takeaway from what you're saying is just to always stay evolving and making sure that, you know, because in DJing, nothing stays the same, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's constantly changing. There's new music, or there's music you haven't discovered, or genres and things like that. And then on top of having to, like, now all the DJs are learning how to live stream, you know. And then there's Serato, but then Serato has these you know, Serato Studio. So no, that's really great advice for, you know, aspiring DJs out there. Just stay on your game all the time.
Yeah, luckily there's the school too to do that. Oh my God. So amazing.
Yeah, and so in grasping, you know, everything that it comes with in terms of new tech and things like that in the DJ world, let's talk about these photos right here. These are so dope. Which event was this? What equipment were you on? And also, that logo looks so tight on that screen. Your logo in
Oh my
general.
gosh.
Yeah, because I need to hear how. First of all, one thing I've always told you, when I first saw your name, I was like, dude, how did nobody think of that? That is such a good name. So you're gonna have to tell us about answer Sam's questions. You got to answer mine. I really want to hear how you came up with this name.
Oh, for sure. Oh, thank you so much, first of all. And this was an event during quarantine that was totally like safe, and everyone was social distanced. It was an amazing like studio, and this was my first live stream, so I was very like, well, off of IG, but very spoiled when I walked in, like, oh my God, this is our, you know, setup. So it was for a BLM event that we raised money for, and it was I think we're on the S9, which I love that mixer. And I brought vinyl because I wanted to play an all house set, so I brought all my bunch of house records that day. And it was an amazing time because I haven't been able to DJ outside of my garage since the pandemic. So even stepping out into a studio like this was very special, and it was a special event. So it was thrown by the Prism DJs and Miss Ninja. So thank you to them for having me. And I just had the best time. Like, it just felt like being out, you know, like being actually DJing to a crowd, even though it was like a couple of us. And yeah, they threw up my logo. They asked me for my logo, which I have to shout out one of my favorite artists, Chaz Borges. He blessed me with the logo. And the name, oh my gosh, I wish the story was like funner, but like it was actually my good friend, actually my ex-boyfriend, but we're good friends. We were talking because I was trying to come up with a name. I'm like, Jazzy did it, something like, we we're trying to overdo it, right? I kept thinking. And then we got off the phone and he called me like 20 minutes later. He's like, I got it. And I was like, what? And he's like, you're not going to believe it. I'm like, he kept hyping it up. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, Spiñorita. And I was like, oh my God. Like, it just encompasses all of me, like Latina, Chicana, like DJ, you know, I fell in love with it from the beginning, and ever since then I've gotten, I think that name kind of opens me up to a lot of opportunities. I'm not gonna front. So luckily I could back it up, you know. But yeah, I'm so grateful. Like, I'm just so grateful for the name, for the design, the logo, and now the talent that I have to back it up with, because that's a big name. So yeah, that's how I got it, and I'm actually in the process of trademarking it. So to be able to, like, yeah, have it legal and all that stuff. So
yeah, that just goes to show the power of exceptional branding, right? Like, your name alone shows that Spin is DJing, and then also that you're Latina. Like, the fact that just one word can encompass so many things about you already off the first time someone meets you. How, yeah, it says right here, it's all in the name. How has this been crucial to your career? I know you kind of touched on it, that it kind of opens up, you know, kind of a conversation piece. It's almost like an icebreaker, right?
yeah, totally. I mean, people always ask me, like, how did you come up with it? Like, you know, it goes perfectly with who you are and like what we think of you. And, you know, like, I'm always dancing when I do my live streams. When I DJ, I'm partying. Like, I'm a party animal, you know. So I think it just like fits in with my personality, with my culture, and my love for music, and it's totally been a blessing. And like I said, I always thank my best friend for giving me the name and coming up with it. And yeah, so I took it a step further, and I got a lawyer, and now we're trademarking it just to make sure I could start selling, like, you know, I sell merch now, but like, just make it official. And yeah, because I've seen a lot of spin instructors use the name. I don't know how they came up with it, but that's going to go on lockdown once the trademark comes in.
Oh, that's awesome. I think you know, it's funny is at the school we actually encourage a lot of our students to, like, oh, what's your DJ name? What's your DJ name? And you know, they spend quite a bit of time with us, and sometimes it doesn't come to them until towards like the end of their whole program.
Right.
But you know, we do like stress the importance of, you know, this DJ name that you give yourself, because it says a lot. Like you said, it's like it's a big name, it's a great name. And I love that you're getting it trademarked, because I think it goes better with a DJ than I mean, you know, no offense to the spin instructors. Yeah. But yeah, I think people don't think about that on the business side of things, right? We
Right.
talk about everything else, but the fact that you went out there and you're like, you know what, let me get this trademark, let me get things right, so that when I can create merch and I'm the one that owns the rights to that. You know, what actually were the, not necessarily the steps, but what led you to do that? What part of you was like, okay, you know what, I have something here, and I want to make it legit.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, like, having that feeling of like, I have something here, because I literally walk into a spot and they're just like, I love your name. And I'm like, oh, that's like the first greeting, you know, like, I love your name. It's amazing. I dropped the DJ. I used to go by DJ Spiñorita, but I dropped the DJ out of it just because I want to start making music as well. So I think, you know, obviously being my artist name. And I think it's just more powerful with just Spiñorita. And yeah, I think it was that initial, like, everyone loved it, from my family to family friends to big DJs, you know, giving me props. And yeah, so I think I just was like, you know what, this is really dope, and I need to take it serious. You know, like, I was taking myself more seriously as a DJ and as an entrepreneur. So I felt like I needed to take the next step. And so I'm also looking into an LLC for Spiñorita, you know, just to be my own boss, and hopefully make 2021 and 2022 better. But yeah, that's the goal. That's the next goal.
I love that. And I also love that you got Chaz to do, I mean, it's from your name, even though you don't think it's, you know, an exciting story. I think it's really cool. Your best friend gave you that name. And also, you know, it does actually like stick, right? Like, people actually will remember it, but then you had Chaz do your logo too, which is no big deal, right?
Oh my God. I was like, I was very fortunate to DJ for some of his private events. And I think I asked him to sign a book that one of his books with Spiñorita. And then he showed up one day when I was DJing at Mi Vida, and he gave me an envelope with Spiñorita written on it and a USB stick. And he just said, here's your logo. Feel free to do whatever you'd like with it. Like, it's all for you. And I was like,
That
Gosh, talk about
that's
meant
a cool
to be.
story.
yeah. I was like, I saved the envelope. Like, I saved everything, you know, but yeah, it's pretty special. I have another logo too, but it's on my cup. It's my OG one. I don't know if you guys could see it.
Oh, that
It's
one's
like,
tight too. You have a shirt.
yeah, it's cute. It's by Mi Vida co-owner Spec One. That's when I was really starting to take myself serious, getting a logo together. I threw a party there. We wrote the logo on the wall. People wrote their favorite lyrics to their favorite songs. And after that party, like, I feel like my DJ career just jumped off after that. So
I love that you have the support of the community, but especially the Latino community. You know,
yeah.
that's so awesome, from the artwork to you doing events at Mi Vida. That's so amazing. And you know, it's so crazy because I've been in this industry for quite some time, as everybody knows, as a photographer. And then I just remember, I'm like, I partied a lot, and there was a point where I stopped partying. But obviously I'm still friends with a lot of the promoters. And then I started seeing your name coming up, and I was like immediately like, oh, who's that? I'm like, who is that? And then to meet you, and just know how cool of a person you are on top of that. Like, I just love it. I love just watching your career, despite COVID and everything. Honestly, guys, I've literally just, this woman is on her hustle. And I just see her just going up, and it's so cool, because Angela, you're, again, an amazing person on top of being a great DJ who has like a wealth of music knowledge, which we're going to get into next up. I did want to talk about one thing. I'm so sorry, Sam. Go ahead and go, and I'm going to share my screen next.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, just kidding.
I had it ready. Sorry. But no, I was gonna say, it sounds like a lot of the things that you've been able to accomplish is just because of having the support from your community, because you were giving them support. You had genuine connections, and as we know, like, in terms of if you were to compete, or your brand versus another brand, the thing that someone can't copy are your genuine connections. Mm-hmm. So we have the slide here where it says, goodbye your 9 to 5, and you start traveling. So even just to backtrack it, how did you, decide, when did you decide that it was time to just go full force in DJing?
You know what? Honestly, I feel like I've been full force for a couple years, but I had that 9 to 5 kind of in the way. It did help me afford to go on international trips, and but I would be DJing so much, like during the week, on the weekends. Like, I felt like my 9 to 5 was my side gig, and my DJing was my real gig because I loved it. I would call out sick on Mondays. I would use sick time and holiday. Like, I'm so tired. I just DJed from Thursday to Saturday, and I need Sunday to rest or whatever. So I finally, I actually got laid off last year, but I knew it was coming. We kind of had the heads up that it was coming. It was a big merger between Fox and Disney. So it just made my life so much easier. I was already a foot out the door. And so I had went to Europe in 2016. And so I think I was starting to build everything up. I had a lot of friends already, and from working in the music industry, and making friends with my favorite producers and stuff. So then when I went out, I started just meeting up with people, going to parties and just hanging out. And then they knew I was part of NTS. And so I think NTS kind of definitely helped push my name out there too. And then last year I went to Japan on a solo trip, and that changed my whole life. Like, it just gave me a whole new perspective. I got to DJ out there. I brought vinyl with me. Oh my gosh, that was it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think I was more excited than anxiety. I think I bought every DJ bag I could think of, though, just to take it with me. And then I also had an epic trip in New York at the end of last year. I got to DJ with Natasha Diggs at Soul on the Horn alongside Stretch Armstrong. Oh my gosh. And then I got to play with MoMA and Ellie Escobar. And I ended my trip playing on Sway in the morning. That was like just surreal. I used to listen to the Wake Up Show when I was young. So last year was the most amazing year of my life. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna front. So when COVID hit, it just, obviously changed a lot of stuff. But these dates right here, that next to 2021, those were my supposed to be my tour dates that I was gonna go on tour this year. But obviously had to cancel until future, hopefully. But yeah, everyone is ready for me to come out, and I'm just like, playing it safe until then.
Yeah, that sounds so super exciting, especially the fact that you took vinyl to Japan. How did you, I just want to ask you really quick, how was that, especially like it's heavy, and I think I asked you about this before, but what did you do to take that there? I just wanted to ask quickly, because I know that I'm curious about the bag that you used.
Yeah, okay, so like I said, I bought like every bag I could think of. I bought a Magma bag, which was way too big, but it's so nice, so I kept it. Like, I'll keep it for local gigs. And then I started asking my friends who travel, and my good friend DJ Moni Loca, she put me onto this bag from Target, and I was like, what, for real? She's like, girl, I've flown with it. It's been cool. She went to Japan as well. We DJ'd together out there. So I bought this little $35 rollaway one day, travel bag. And I made sure to choose, like, oh my gosh, I have one quick scary story. I almost missed my flight to Japan because I bought, when you like overnight flight. So I thought it was like a day later, but it was actually that night. So when I got home, I had like an hour to get to LAX from Alhambra. Oh my God. So I literally got my records and was like, okay, whatever jams I played last time, fuck it. And I just kind of quickly like went through, and I was like, I need this. I have to take it. So I made sure to leave room because I knew I was going to dig. So I left some room, and I took all my like slappers. I'm like, just slappers, just heat. Don't even overthink it. Threw it in the bag. I made it. I made it. I was like kind of almost crying on the flight. But yeah, so I made sure not to really pack it too much. Bring just heat, and then remember that I was going to dig when I got out there. So I wanted to make sure I had enough room for at least some 12s and some 45s. But I brought mostly a lot of 45s, mostly 12s at the time.
Oh man, of course. Of course. And
Yeah.
how much did you end up like, did you have to control yourself when it came to shopping for a record? Because in Japan, I've just heard legendary stories about what's over there, you guys. It's amazing. And the stores, you can just you never know what you're going to find, especially with Japanese culture, how into things they get. So imagine with the music.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Like, just the experience of digging out there alone was just like so immaculate. Like, everything was in plastic, and it had like a sign and like, what's the genre, and a little thing about the producer. I'm like, what? I was just in there. I would be hours in a spot just looking. And I remember the first day I went digging, I didn't realize like Japan is built up. So I'm thinking like, I'm looking for the record stores, and I'm like, I can't find it. And I didn't realize like it's up in the building, not like next to me. So I kept asking people like, do you know where then? Folks are so sweet. I ended up meeting a friend out there, and he took me digging to all his favorite places. And I had to, at the end of the trip, I had to like really chill out and be like, okay, don't forget, you gotta like carry that bag home. I think I stuck a couple of things in between my clothes and my actual. So my travel advice, if you can make it happen, is to travel with the carry-on to internationally. Like, honestly, it's like the best shit ever. That's always my goal, is to travel with just a carry-on bag if I can, like if I can make it within that time frame. But one fly ass pair of kicks, because you might buy another pair out there, and then just your whatever you can, your cute stuff you can bring, a jacket, and then just like I said, pure heat. So that's my advice. If you can make it happen, it can happen. Bring a carry-on and then like a little roller bag for your records.
That's great advice. I can't wait till we all can travel again.
Once
That's
we
for sure. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, you guys, this next slide, look how awesome these pictures are. And I wanted to make a really big point out of this. And the reason why is obviously when we do events, and then I ask the talent for photos. This is the reason why. Look at all these beautiful photos. There's different. They're just so dope. And I think what we don't get to talk about too much or emphasize is just and with you, you've been really, really great when it comes to your branding. The name is great. You're already trademarking it. And you have this dope logo with an incredible story behind it on top of that. And then now to complete the package, you have these amazing photos. And I think that really, really propels a person, and I know we want to keep it low maintenance sometimes, but guys, as a DJ, that's really, really important that you have a variety of things, high res things to send people who are going to promote your stuff, or even for yourself as content. Can you tell me a little bit about these? I see that you're in downtown, and you're are you styling yourself too on top of that? I love your style, by the way. I love the hoops. I just love it. It clearly shows your own personal your flair, your style.
Thank you. Yes, definitely want to shout out my friend Melly. She's an amazing photographer. If anyone needs pictures, please feel free to reach out to me. She's available, when COVID is, but I have a handful of photographers that I work with, all women actually. And yeah, I style myself. Hoops are always a part of my life, so I have to represent with the hoops, and I like to switch it up. Like if you could tell in these pictures, it's kind of more like my chill, jeans, and, I'm kind of like, what up? And the other one is more me dressed up representing in Los Angeles. And yeah, I think it's all about just presenting yourself like you want to be out there. So I'm lucky enough to know a couple of photographers that have helped me with that. They make me look beautiful too. And then, I choose spots that I feel are a part of who I am. So those pictures that I'm in front of that kind of cage thing is in Highland Park. That's obviously in downtown. My other pictures I have are in Alhambra. We've taken them in Alhambra. And then another portion are in El Sereno. So I kind of like representing where I'm from in the pictures that I take. And I refresh my pictures I would say at least once a month. We're going to do another shoot actually on Thursday. So I'm going to do another shoot just because you do need pictures for things like this, for flyers. It's always great to have high res. So it helps the promoter or the designer, like you want to have something that they can work with, not something super pixelated if they blow it up or make it small. So I make sure to refresh my pictures as often as I can and refresh the style, the look. And it's just super fun, if you're shy, you can just Melly and a bunch of my other friends are just great to work with. I think it's fun to have a woman photographer because they're very helpful. Like I've worked with guys and they're great too, but they don't tell me, hey, fix your hair, or like come up, you need that second eye. You can't do it all on your own. So yeah. I've had so much fun with that.
That's super important too. I'm glad that you said that you do it pretty often because I think a lot of us are guilty of not doing that because gosh, I'll change my hair and then my flyers don't even really reflect how I look like right now, right? Like people will know that this is an old photo, like your hair doesn't look like that anymore, right? Or if you're just like maybe let's say you do have 3 really good photos that you send to promoters. Over time, every flyer on your Instagram is going to be the exact same pose, the exact same outfit. And definitely I think I need to be better at that. So Thank you for bringing that up because it really is so important. I got to stop like relying on these old photos of myself for these flyers to, just for the Instagram to look lively, because you guys know that that's so important now. That's the first thing that people will look at when they're trying to book you or have you on a set. So
yeah, and there's a lot of apps and stuff, even if you don't have a budget for photographers. There's so many apps. I mean, I've taken pictures of myself with a tripod and my iPhone and then just like fixed it up with some apps. I've done that, so don't be afraid to, if you don't got the budget, it's all good. And there's always bartering too. Like I've said, yo, I'll DJ a party for you if you could take some pictures for me, so just get creative if you can. I know right now is really hard on the pocket. So like I said, I have recommendations if anybody needs them.
Yeah, please. Women photographers, yes, I would know definitely my former life, but I love that you're telling everybody this, and my students know that I've been kind of annoying with it. I'm like, send me pictures, please, high res, and then I make a flyer, and to have a nice variety. It's super important, especially as a DJ or just any, someone that is in constant contact with the public. If you're doing any kind of events, whether it's DJing or anything else, to give somebody a whole drive of folders that have so many pictures that you can choose from is very, very important. Especially I like the part that Sam says where it's like, I may have dyed my hair, but yet the picture I sent someone was like, I don't even look like that anymore. Mm-hmm. So, all these little things in terms of like branding yourself are super important. So thank you for mentioning that, and that's why I definitely wanted to share all these amazing photos that you have. And I'm so happy to hear you do Let's a Let. That's so awesome. And bartering. Yeah, guys, anybody that you guys know, Spiñorita, if you don't mind, when this is over, I'm definitely going to holler at you and ask you for those recommendations of photographers. And we're going to include that in your recap email. So if you guys are subscribed to our newsletter, we'll send that out and include that so you guys can, keep it with the women. You know what I'm saying? Or you guys want to recommend anybody else that you guys know in your local areas. I definitely, especially with COVID, want to support, especially photographers, because it is hard right now. But I had a friend come out here and he came with a mask and took some family photos. So it can be done, guys. And I still think it's important, especially now that you're doing virtual events. You want to be able to give people things like that. So
yeah. And using your resources during this time is so important. And, Spiñorita's done a really good job of, her pivot as well in terms of what she's been doing since we've been on quarantine. So talk about Sunday school and how was your, your transition into, maybe not getting these gigs, and what does that look like now?
So when COVID hit, I really took a big break. I was DJing a lot. Like I said, I felt like that was my 9 to 5. So it felt nice to kind of chill and have that break. And then I was kind of nervous to get on live stream too. I don't know why. I'm not shy, but it, just like not really knowing. I never really did IG live or anything like that. And my good friend, another DJ that I love, Darling Chuck, she texted me and she's like, just try it. Like, you're going to love it. It's going to be fun, So one Sunday I was like, you know what? I'm going to play my records. If anybody wants to join in, join in. And I'm like, I'm going to call it Sunday School. I'm going to play all uplifting music. So I made a quick little thing on IG stories. And then I have a friend who knows this designer, Maddie Freeman. She's amazing. I thought it was him that was making his flyers, but he introduced me to Maddie. And so I contacted her and I was like, look, I have this idea called Sunday School on Sundays for my live stream. Would you be down to make a design? And this is kind of like the vibe I'm going for, not too super religious, but like more about uplifting feelings and music and stuff. So she came up with Sunday School, and then the prayer hands with the soap, because it's COVID. So I was able to sell these candles. Thank you so much to everybody who's bought. I don't know if anyone has seen them, but we made, these are hand painted by Maddie as well. So I just was trying to figure out ways to make some cash, you know, and to keep myself happy and keep people happy and entertained. I feel like everybody was just kind of looking for an outlet. Look at what everything was going on with D stuff. D nice, sorry. D nice, that was, oh my God. And so just seeing that motivation and doing it myself, and I love to DJ, so it just brought me so much happiness to jump on Instagram Live. So I've been doing it, I think, for maybe 11 weeks or something like that. So now it's morphed into this whole Sunday school. So I'm doing something on the 19th, very safe. I'll be inside Mi Vida DJing at like the window, and then I'm going to be selling t-shirts and pins and stickers. The candles are on hold right now, but yeah, so we're hoping people come in small groups and just kind of like be out social distanced, and we'll be together on a Sunday for Sunday school. Because if anybody has joined in, it's just a big party that in my garage. These are my records. I put my records out and like just dig and play for like at least 3 to 4 hours on Sundays.
Ooh, 3 to 4 hours on vinyl.
Yeah,
that's a lot of vinyl.
No, we love it. We love it. And you know, to anyone that's been live streaming out there, you know, I think that's what I said before. DJs really have brought some, you know, a sense of, I wouldn't say normalcy, because that's definitely not it, but you know, a sense of happiness. I mean, music's really helped a lot of people get through COVID, and something to look forward to, or they'll have parties in their house and things like that. And I love that, you know, you're like, you know, I'm just going to do it on a Sunday, and here morphs this whole, you know, this whole thing where, you know, you're pivot and you're selling candles, and now you have merch, which you know, guys, you can get on the 19th at Mi Vida. Will you so I have this little link here, guys. It's not active, obviously you can't click on it, but you know, Spiñorita is going to have it available on is it Big Cartel? I believe you sent me the link earlier.
Yeah.
So is that going to go live on this coming Sunday, or the 19th? Is that when
it will? Yeah, it actually will be live on my website, so it'll be spiñorita.com, and we'll have the merch available on there, and I also have the Big Cartel. So yeah, it'll be live if you know you can't make it in person. And there's one shirt design that is going to be only available at Mi Vida, but if I have extras, I'll put them up, and whoever wants to buy them, I will mail them to you. So it's another Sunday school design.
Dope. That's so exciting. No, it's really it's so inspiring to hear. Like, you're a hustler, girl. I love that. And Nina mentioned something, and that's actually how we met. So if you guys don't know, we're gonna get to that soon. But Nina's actually one of the students at the school, and she's like, Marisol, you have to meet Angela. You have to meet Spiñorita. Like, she is someone that I dig with, and she's just an amazing person, and I have to link you guys up. And so she did. And I've just watched your trajectory just go like this despite COVID. You're just on your hustle. It's so inspiring to see you just keep moving and just doing so many amazing things.
Thank you.
And what I want to bring up, I believe it's the next slide, Sam. So speaking of which, Club Diggies, see this, there's nothing this woman has not done yet, guys. I mean, it's amazing. Club Diggies. So please tell us all about this. There's Nina right there, and she's in both pictures.
Yeah,
she's
Nina.
in the middle there. So
Yeah.
please tell us all about this, what inspired it, how did it start, and how can people join?
Yeah, you know, I obviously love to dig for records, and I thought, like, wouldn't it be fun to like go with your friends and just like learn about music from your friends? So I put out like I think an email or something out to some folks, and we're like, would you guys be down to go digging together? And then I just came up with the name because, again, DJ Shred One, props to her. I remember her tweeting about she was going for diggies, like digging through records. I'm like, that's so cute. So when the name came up, I'm like, oh, Club Diggies. And then my boy made the logo for me, Beanchy Kid, another amazing designer in LA. And yeah, it just started growing. And people think it's like a speakeasy thing, but it's totally not. Everyone is welcome. All you have to do is take my email down or send me your email, and you're in. Like, you're basically in. I send a low-key email. It doesn't have any graphics or anything. It's usually like, here, let's choose the date and let's choose a location. And then after we go digging, we go eat so that we can get some good food and we can kind of like talk about our records or just hang out, just hang out with folks. And I've met so many cool people through it, like and made so many, Nina and I and our homeboy, we ventured down to San Diego to go digging, and that was super fun. And yeah, so it started growing. So like I said, everyone and anyone is welcome to join Club Diggies. Just hit me up. You're in.
Yeah, and again, guys, I'm telling you, there's nothing she hasn't done because since it's COVID. Next slide, please, Sam. You guess what? You guys can actually do it online. So if you go on Eventbrite and look up Wax for Change, so Wax for Change is you get your virtual dig session on at East LA's finest record shop, Sonido de Valle. Please tell us more about that, Angela. We'd love to hear what you have going on, what you've put together, and this is obviously going to a great cause as well.
Yeah, so my friends Wax for Change got in contact with me about hosting this amazing event. We're going to be digging virtually from Sonido del Valle, this great record shop in Boyle Heights, the heart of Boyle Heights. We're also donating a portion of the donations to the Jazz Foundation of America, and 30% of all sales will go to the Jazz Foundation as well. It's going to be on Saturday the 18th. I'm going to start it up with a DJ set, a vinyl set, and then we're going to go in and we go crate by crate. So some of us have handpicked some stuff for you guys to, if you want to buy it. And then there will be a bunch of stuff like, they're really well known for their Latin stuff, a lot of cumbia, banda, but they have so much. I just saw an Abstract Tribe Unique record and I want it. So there's hip hop, there's soul, there's jazz, there's funk. I'm pulling some funk slappers as my recommendation. So yeah, join us. All you have to do is go to the Eventbrite link. If you can donate, that's great. If you can't, you could still join us. And it's from 11:30, I believe, to 1. And yeah, we're just going to be digging and having fun in there. And I'm going to be your host. So please join us. You're more than welcome. And if you join, you're part of Club Diggies automatically. So yeah, tell your friends, tell anybody. I mean, we can't really go digging right now. I know there's some stores open, but I'm not really comfortable being out there yet. So if anybody wants to join in on this virtual dig, like totally come through.
Oh, that's so exciting. Thanks for letting us know all about that. And then we'll also repost that for you in our stories. You guys make sure you follow Spiñorita. We'll give all the information towards the end of this. The next slide that we want to get to really quick, I guess just this one again. If you guys don't listen to NTSS radio, hit in the search. She just put in Spiñorita's name. She has a plethora of episodes that are already up. So if you want to catch up and need something to listen to, please check this out. Can you tell us a little bit about NTS radio and how did you actually run into that? How did that become part of you and what you do?
Yeah, so I started Casual Play 10 years ago as a podcast because I wanted to spread artist music that I feel like was amazing and wasn't getting a lot of press. So I started that 2010, and then fast forward to 2016, I went to London with my good friend DJ Mama Bear. She had a guest set at NTS, and I was just there being a fly on the wall, just like meeting people and hanging out. Found out they were opening their studio in Highland Park, and Mama Bear put me in contact with the folks at NTS and told them about me. I sent them a mix and they got back to me and were like, hey, you want to do like a guest slot? I'm like, hell yeah. And then like 2 weeks later, they actually contacted me and said, hey, we'd actually like to give you a show, 2 hours on a Thursday. And I was like, oh my, like I couldn't. I was like, really? So yeah, so ever since then, it's been on NTS for 3 years. Yeah, I've been so blessed to have so many amazing guests. Ray Rec was my last guest. I think she's in here on the chat. Yeah, it's been great. It's been so awesome. So right now we're running a thing called NTS Supporters. So I guess it's like $2.99, and you get a bunch of promotions and perks with it, and it goes to now the resident DJs. So they're trying to like put money in our pocket, which I appreciate. But NTS is just one of the best radio stations out there. So I'm super, super blessed to have a show on there and have some great guests coming for the rest of the year. So look out for that. I appreciate all the support. I had Juke Bounce work. We missed DJ Noir. I think she had to work that day, but I'm gonna have her take over my show. So yeah, so that's how I got onto NTS, and just mad, like, humble, and just, I love it. I'm proud of myself for that.
Well, we're proud of you. It sounds like everything that you have shown us today has all transpired because of just believing in yourself and kind of just taking that shot and just going for it without really being like thinking too hard about it, right? Like everything from your candles to your merch to your radio, your podcast, all these things, your Club Diggies, it's all just because you're just like, I would want it for myself, right? So
yeah, I love community. I love community. I love bringing people together. I love music. And yeah, I one thing I would say is that I don't wait for an opportunity. I create the opportunity. So, NTS didn't come, I don't know, 7 years after. So it took me that long, to build up to being a radio host and stuff like that. So my encouraging words to anyone out there is like, don't wait for anybody or anything. Do it yourself, because then you own it. It's yours. Like, that's my name. It's going to be legally my name. So that's my biggest belief, is like, don't ever wait for the opportunity. Just create it if you can, because you can do it for sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Spiñorita.
Thank you so much.
So this is the time, if anybody has questions for her. I know we've covered so much about her journey. If anybody has questions, if they want to mute themselves, just let us know by clicking the one on, or typing one on the chat, and we can get to you. Anyone has any questions?
Don't be shy, y'all. This is your time, even though you
Always so
today. Oh my gosh, so many gems and so many inspiring stories. I totally love it. I have a question, even though I've been talking. So you're obviously a go-getter. If there are, if there is any advice that you could give someone starting out, that is either looking for community or doesn't feel like they have access to that, what would you tell them?
I'd say stay close to your day ones. They're usually the ones that are the most real with you. You need that, especially in the DJ world or like entertainment. You need those real, true people in your life, because there's a lot of fakeness out there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of competition, things like that. But I tend to keep my really close friends next to me, ask them advice, questions. I like friends that aren't DJs because they see a whole other side of it. Like, I have this friend, she's amazing. Like, she'll hit me up after my Twitch like performance and be like, okay girl, you need to fix your lighting on that side, and you like, it's just so helpful. It's like the audience giving you the feedback. So I would say, look for spaces like this. Ladies of Sound, you all are amazing for this as well, and I'm so honored to be here with y'all and connected with beat junkies. Like, oh my God, so look out for spaces like that. Look for people like me, because I love throwing parties and like having people together. You can always feel free to reach out to me for anything, advice, Club Diggies, any questions you might have. Maybe you're shy now or anything, like don't hesitate. And like I said, just create your own thing. If you don't think you have the right radio voice or anything like that, just try it. If you're shy, try it out. Let your friends listen to it, and then come back and see. Once you start getting more comfortable, I mean, it flows after that. So that's kind of the advice I would give to somebody.
Oh, thank you. Looks like we have a question from Jordan. Jordan, do you want to unmute yourself and you can ask Spiñorita your question? Welcome back, by the way.
Hi, thank you.
Hey.
Hi, Spiñorita.
Hey.
Question for you. So, right now, I started DJing a couple months ago under the name Niara Nuru, and I am on a controller, completely digital, and I'm looking to switch to vinyl. Do you have any advice for someone who's making that leap?
Yeah, I would say I like to practice with like a lower BPM, something with a harder drum, and like doubles. So if you can get that record, like both or two records of that same song, or 12-inch, to use it as your practice records, I would say definitely do that. I know that there are online workshops for vinyl DJing, and I also do them too. So if you ever need, like a one-on-one, I can definitely help you with that. But also Ladies of Sound as well. But that's my advice on starting out with vinyl.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would want to add that, like, in terms of getting equipment, I know that's probably the biggest leap that people have to make when they're doing, vinyl and trying to learn how to mix on turntables. So just take it a piece of equipment at a time sometimes, just go on OfferUp, go safely on Craigslist if you can, or if you have someone with you that can come and check it out. Sometimes it's just those one tiny one purchase at a time, and eventually you'll be able to get your equipment. So yeah, that's really dope to hear that, you're down to kind of go backwards and learn from the foundation. Super, super important. We totally do.
And any vinyl you can get your hands on now, start growing your collection, so you can see kind of what style you like. I would say that would be super helpful too. So join us at the virtual dig if you'd like.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. Yeah, and then like Spiñorita mentioned, you could always ask her. And also, we do offer private lessons with, you can actually train with the Beat Junkies themselves. We are really big on learning the foundation of DJing, because, once you just know the foundation, it really just opens everything up, because now you'll understand, the digital aspect will be nothing at that point. So, let us know. And also in terms of equipment, let us know as well what you're looking for, and we'll definitely help you. We can post that on a story, and you never know who actually is selling things, but we definitely have student discounts that we offer with the school. And then we have some great recommendations. Thank you so much from Nostification, and we believe B is also answering. So the community is here to help you for sure. And then anybody else? Oh, great. So Stephanie has a question. Stephanie, you can please go ahead and unmute yourself so you can ask Spiñorita yourself.
Hey, I'm really excited to just kind of be here and listen. And Spiñorita, I actually just discovered you a few days ago. I saw on Natasha Diggs' story, she had reposted your Sunday school, and I was tuning in. And it was just so much fun to see your energy and your selection of music, and really vibing to it and having a lot of fun. And so I have a few questions, but the first one that comes to mind is kind of has to do with radio. So I'm actually based in Nashville, in Tennessee. So
Nice.
Welcome.
Far there, yes. So but I started DJing maybe like 2 years ago, like investing in equipment, and I spin vinyl. So I would like to branch out into more digital equipment and technology in the future. But I just got offered a spot at a local low power radio station here in Nashville.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm like super excited, and I'm just curious, as I guess I've identified as a DJ before, getting this radio show, and I'm wondering how can you use like that platform of having a radio show to kind of either boost your brand or just like your identity as a DJ and putting yourself out there?
My show, when I started Casual Play, it was more like a radio show where I'd play like the whole song and then talk about the artist. And now my show is a mix show. So I actually just mix the whole time. And then I'll come in and I'll talk about any gigs that I have. I'll talk about Club Diggies. I will talk about the artists or record labels that I've been listening to or records I've been buying. Drop the Instagram here and there. I always say, you're listening to Casual Play on NTS Radio with NTS Radio LA with Spiñorita. Just so people know like where you're listening, where I'm coming from, where they're at, and my love for LA is always thrown in there. But yeah, I find subtle ways of dropping the things I'm working on, the things that I'm supporting, and inviting people onto my show that I feel, go with, I guess, the style. But actually, I'm open to all styles on my show. I let people play whatever they want. So I would say definitely I sometimes have a small script with me, and I try to remember in between to plug those things in, because you don't know who's listening, who's like left, who's come in. So you kind of want to reintroduce what's going on the show. So I would say those are pieces of advice I would give you for branding on your radio show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you have another question, you said, or?
It'll come back to me.
Sweet. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Stephanie, all the way from Nashville.
Yeah, send your link, your radio link.
Yeah, and before we move on, everybody that's here, please drop your Instagram in the chat. We'd love to follow you guys and vice versa. And then also you can stay in touch with Spiñorita. Here's all of our information here. You already know. And then obviously you want to follow our special guest, Spiñorita. And she is also on Twitch, so please look her up there. Also, again, NTS Radio. And then if you go on her Instagram, she has a link tree with all the quick links to everything that she's doing, so you can stay updated until spinorita.com is live and in effect. You can go ahead and check that out on her page. I think that's really awesome, Stephanie, that you guys, if you guys don't follow Natasha Diggs already, when it comes to like records and knowledge, and especially like 45s and just music in general, she's really amazing. And when you said that you were gonna go spin at Soul on the Horn, oh, man, that I've been trying to go to that party for like years, guys, and like every every time I'm in New York, something happens where I just don't get to go. So I'm so super happy that you got to spin there, and I swear to God, I'm gonna go to that party someday.
We can all just take a retreat trip to New York.
But yeah, I love that. I do think that knowing you're just collecting vinyl definitely keeps that music knowledge up for sure. And then it's also something that we can all share together. Stephanie remembered her question. Stephanie, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, girl.
Yeah, so so they're kind of two. I'm sorry if we're going over time, but I am wondering, first off, so I know you are Latina and identify with that, and that's very present in like your DJ name and your culture and how you present yourself. And so I am curious, like, how as a DJ, does that come out in your music, or how do you express that or embrace that within your identity as a DJ?
I think, honestly, it's more in my aesthetic. I do love, I love Latin music, but I feel like I play so many styles that it just comes out, like, obviously in the art that I love, in, the things that I share on my stories, on my Instagram, the things I believe in. I think it just comes out in what I share and who I am. Musically, I play almost everything. I try not to stick to one genre because I love so much. And I think it's so fun and challenging to try and play as much as you can, and that's why I go for 3-4 hours. But yeah, that's, you know, that's who I've always been. And when that name came up for me, I think that was just like the icing on the cake, and it really represents me even before I step into the room. So I'm very proud of that, and I'm very proud of my culture and representing that. And I think, yeah, like you can see it in, mostly in who I am.
I love that. And my last question was just going to be, you've given us some pretty like tangible and concrete examples of how your ideas and how to build community, especially through just like your love for music. So for people in like different parts of the country, what kind of tips or suggestions would you give for someone who may not necessarily be, like right now I feel kind of solo and like a DJ community, like there's a huge artist community, but I guess in terms of building community with other people through music, what would you suggest?
You know, if you like digging, maybe if you can find like one other friend that, like, that's how Club Diggy started. And I'm open to anyone who wants to be like bring Club Diggies to their, like, if you want to have Club Diggies chapter in your, you know, state, you can totally do that. That always opens up the conversation to people. But I feel like once you start talking to friends about music you love and things like that, it just opens up the opportunity for discussions and ideas. And once I get an idea about something, I automatically start trying to plan around it. So if you have some small idea that you kind of think like, I don't know if I'm the only one, you probably aren't. So, you know, try and write something down, an idea you have, and maybe like connect with the folks you think that would fall into that. And yeah, and keep in touch if you ever want to like ask me about, you know, how I built Club Diggies. Like I said, if you want to make your own, I would love that too. In any state, let's do it. But yeah, that's my advice for that.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks again, Stephanie. We have Nina has a question.
Nina, it's just a comment. I just wanted to shout out to Spiñorita, Angela. She's been kind of like my sister and mentor since this all began, and I think it started out actually in 2018. Before I joined the Beat Junkie School, you like led a intercessions workshop at the Serato guest store in downtown LA, and that was the first time that I learned how to spin vinyl, and then that kind of led to me going to school. And I think it's just kind of really cool that like both of my worlds are like finally like joined together. Aww. Like my vinyl community and like you know, my school community. So thank you for being on here.
Thank you, Nina, so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Nina is a force in our community. She's definitely one of the girls who will say like, I'm doing vinyl, and that was never, no one even asked you to do vinyl, but she'll take on that challenge. So community is super important. Like Stephanie was asking, you know, I know in certain places when you're not in big cities or a city like LA, it can get hard to feel like there is community. But to be honest, in your question, you're in one right now. You're asking like, what can you do to be part of DJ communities? And especially now, I feel like it might be even easier for you to find some because everyone's live streaming, everyone's doing these Zooms. So just know, at the end, this goes for everyone. You guys are always welcome to come to our community chats. We have past videos. We're gonna go into that, but yeah, we have videos you guys can watch back. We've done branding, we've done actual tech kind of sessions. So just know that. So and we always, in terms of community, we always big up the girls that also that we support, that we love. And Spiñorita, do you want to you know, highlight your sisterhood spotlight for the day?
Yes. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite DJs. This is an LA legend, you guys. DJ Noir. Oh. When I watch her play, I'm just like, I am not worthy.
Noir, we have you in here. Do you want to unmute yourself and say hello?
Hi, ladies.
Hi, thanks
Yeah.
for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Ladies of Sound, Angela. You know, when Angela hits me up about anything, I'm like, it's done. Do it. We're doing it. I just love this girl so much. And I love watching you just do your thing. I think you're one of the most outstanding, positive people in our community. And I just want to see you win. And we haven't been friends very long, but from the moment we met, I think you gave us an opportunity. You booked us for like a charity event or something that you were doing way out in Glendale or something. And we just clicked like that. And from then on, we've just been sharing platform with each other and, you know, being very supportive of each other. And, you know, it's been really beautiful to, you know, exchange in that way. And I think the last time we actually, before quarantine, was we played a show together for Half Moon Brooklyn. I think that was one of the last shows we all got to play before all of this. So I was very blessed. It was such a great night.
But go ahead and tell us about yourself and you know the label that you've been able to create for your community.
It is a very wild and serendipitous story, and it's hard to know where to begin. But you know, my DJ journey started like most of us, very young, family, vinyl cookouts, gatherings, and just being immersed in vinyl records, soul, funk, hip hop. And actually, the first DJ I ever met was my cousin Norman. I was like 7, he was a few years older. And my mom gave him his first vinyl record. And from then on, he decided he was going to DJ. And I would spend my summers at their house and we would just play disco all day long. And that's all I wanted to do. When people wanted to play dolls or whatever, I wanted to play disco. And, you know, it was always, let's play records and dance. And so the path definitely was straightforward. When the rave scene kind of came into my life, I started raving, and I would see people like RAW, which, you know, Raul was like one of the first DJs I ever experienced in a rave. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I never saw myself in that place. And it wasn't until a neighbor of mine who ran Insomniac at the time before Pasquale, his name was Philip Blaine, he was throwing a party and he asked me if I wanted to go. And it was an underground rave, and I went. And the DJs that were playing that night were Goldie and Doc Scott, these drum and bass guys from England. And I met Goldie, we became friends, and you know, we had a relationship for many years. And through that relationship, he completely plugged me into UK jungle and drum and bass from jump. And during that time, his album Timeless had just come out. He was kind of on the rise, you know, as this, you know, breakbeat star. And it's very rare for someone to come into music this way. It's a very unconventional, most people don't enter into a music industry the way that I did, but you know, it became more than, I mean, it impacted my life in a way that I can't really even describe. I ended up going to England for a time because I was obsessed with the music. I wanted to be in the culture. I wanted to learn everything about it. And it wasn't until I saw Chemistry and Storm, which were female DJs who were also his label managers at the time, that I saw someone like me DJing. And I was like, I want to do that, and invested in my own rig and taught myself how to DJ. And, you know, at the time it was vinyl and a very expensive investment. So I got a job at Vinyl Fetish in LA, and I became the main buyer for breakbeat, jungle, and drum and bass in that record store for years. And I worked with June, who's another legend DJ in LA from Umoja, High Five, and we were both buying very prolific, deep records in that store. And that's kind of how I got plugged into the DJ community in LA. Working at that store and also building my vinyl collection. through that relationship, and you know, still raving and practicing. And you know, it wasn't really until many years later that I even occurred to me that we could throw our own events and things like that. Because at the time when I was coming up, and we're talking about the late 90s, there was not a lot of female representation in the DJ world. I could literally count them on one hand at the time. So it was very hard to tap in to that scene, even though I had, you know, all of this veteran influence behind me. It wasn't quite that easy. When I met my husband, actually in 2001, you know, I was very excited to meet him because he wasn't a DJ. But within 6 months' time, he became a DJ. We had equipment there, years of vinyl collection, and he kind of on the side taught himself how to DJ. And the next thing I knew, you know, he was this fantastic DJ. Years later, as technology started to change and things started going digital, you know, it kind of became like a barrier. It wasn't something that I was comfortable with at the time, and I had to figure out how I was going to navigate transitioning into a digital world. So there was a period of years where, you know, the DJing just kind of stopped until around 2012, we discovered the footwork sound, Chicago footwork, and DJ Rashad, RP Boo, loads of other people, and realizing we were really into the sound, and there was no other way we were going to be able to get involved unless we transitioned to the digital medium. So we got our first Serato and pretty much just purchased everything we could find in the genre and really started to push it. And with the power of social media, you know, you can literally reach out to anyone at any time. And we did. We researched these artists. We reached out to them personally, just hit them up on their Facebooks, and Instagram was like, hey, you know, we really love your music. We're thinking about doing a party. We'd like to fly you out, book you. And, you know, it kind of really started from there. A lot of exchange, creative exchange between us and, you know, these people in Chicago that pioneered the sound. Once again, we're, you know, right in the middle of, you know, connecting with pioneers, creators of a sound, and building a community. So yeah, that's kind of, yeah, how it started.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Yeah, if you guys are interested in looking into the Chicago juke and footwork community, here you go. You guys have, you know, Connect Now, our Sisterhood Spotlight. Thank you so much for coming through. You guys can find her Instagram and also their SoundCloud. They also come out with mixes often, so you guys can check that out. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our Sisterhood Spotlight is always something that's open for anyone. If you guys have your own pivots during this time, or if you want to nominate a friend, so luckily we had Spiñorita here and nominate you know, Noir and Juke Bounce work. So it's been great. Thank you so much for, you know, telling us about your story. And if you guys want to check them out, you can check them out right there. And you guys can always send in your nominations as well for Sisterhood Spotlight. So
yeah, thank you, Noir, for joining us today. We got to get you on a community chat because I definitely want to hear more about this. I love the whole juke scene in Chicago. You guys, again, like Sam said, please check that out if you really don't know what that music's about. Woo! Talk about workout dancing. You guys got to look up the dancing. That's something I could never do, but I'm definitely interested in checking out a party when we can do that again. But thank you so much, Noir. Definitely gonna
thank
get
you guys so much.
Yes, so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Noir. Love you, Noir.
Oh, love you, girl. You already know.
And of course, with that comes along also just supporting each other in each other's live streams, mixes. So we have them all by Spiñorita here. Marisol, do you want to take it away for these?
Yeah, so as you guys know, we have some live stream listens for you to listen to and that are up and coming. Spiñorita, you just did offline gold mine with how do you pronounce? Sorry, I'm like don't want to
Violaya?
Violaya.
Mhm.
So please go on SoundCloud and look up Violaya, and you can find her mix there. This is very recent. You literally just did this like last week, I believe.
Yeah, she's the G-Funk queen, and she's a vinyl DJ. So she's another amazing. Look up the Elia. She's on the rise. Oh, let me show you. Do I have it right here? Oh, she has a mixtape that's super. Oh, here it is. Super, super ill. Talk about style.
Wow.
It's called Body, and it's a G-Funk vinyl mix. So check that out.
Well, you just know the coolest people, and wow. And talk about community. I love how you bring everybody together, and like look at this, guys. So come what is this? I don't know if I wrote the right date. I'm sorry.
Friday.
I meant to write the 10th. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It was all backwards. I wrote the 7th instead of the 10th. But on the 10th, the Doppler radio show. Where can we check this out?
It's actually a radio station in Paris. I was gonna do a live show on my canceled trip or canceled tour that's coming soon. But so it's a really amazing online radio station called Hotel Radio Paris. It'll be on Friday under my friend's Sample Delivery, who also booked me in Paris. So yeah, I'm not sure about the hours. I think it's like 3 a.m., but it'll be on SoundCloud as well. So it'll be on my SoundCloud, and I'll be pushing that too. But that comes out on Friday.
Dope. And then you have something coming up on the 24th with the city of West Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm doing a vinyl mix on their Mixcloud Live channel. So join me. It's on a Friday. It's only 1 hour, and it's gonna be fun. You know me. I'm always like, so
we are excited for it. Yeah, guys. So if you guys want to catch that, we will be sending this information out to you guys in a newsletter. And we want to just transition to this thing here, which is called our Artist Wellness Series. We actually have Juliet Mendoza coming up this Thursday. So on Thursdays, guys, we actually take care of our mind, body, and souls, and do workouts to yogas to nutrition, and taking care of your mental health. But we have Juliet Mendoza coming up, and she's going to actually give us some tips on food and nutrition. Because unfortunately, sometimes for DJs, when you guys are out and about and the selections to eat are just
tacos at 3 a.m.
Like dirty dogs, like you don't want to eat all that. So she actually has some we are going to have a nice conversation about food and nutrition, those late night eats that don't have to be the hot dog cart at night, although once in a blue moon you want to support them and all of that, but you can't do it too often, especially if you're a busy DJ, right? So join us on Thursday for that 6 o'clock. And then we have coming up also next week. Do you mind clicking to the next slide for me, Sam? Thank you. We have Chronica coming up next week. She is part of Selection Guys. We're going to be bringing her on. And then the week after that, we have Cuttin' Candy. She's from the 5th Platoon. So if you guys know who Neil Armstrong is is part of the 5th Platoon DJ crew out in the East Coast in New York. So we're going to be talking to her. She's actually, a really, really big activist in the community. And so we're going to be talking about some heavy subjects and things like that coming up as well. And last but not least, you guys already know, supporting us means supporting the community. But first and foremost, I wanted to thank you, Angela, for taking the time to spend with us and talk to us and talk to the community. Again, I admire everything that you have been doing and continue to do. It's really inspirational to see you just on this upwards trajectory, from creating community to your love for music. And again, I'm like, dang girl, how many things are you doing? I love it. How do you do it? But thank you so much, Angela, and everybody that came here today. Thank you, DJ Noir, for being our guest. We got to get you on a community chat soon. But yeah, go ahead and close the slide out. And Angela, if you want to say anything else before we conclude for today, and say goodbye to the community, or see you later.
I just want to say thank you so much. You don't know how much this means to me. I appreciate every opportunity I get, no matter how big or small. I stay humble, I work hard, and I keep the love for music in my heart first. I'm a fan of music first. It's not about Spiñorita first, it's about the music. That's why I try so hard to make everything sound good and look good and feel good and make people feel good, because I know how that, how it's changed me. So I just really want to thank you and Sammy so much. And Noir, thank you for being here. And everybody who's here, thank you for taking the time for listening to me. I mean, I really appreciate it, sincerely.
Thank you so much.
All right, ladies, well, have a good rest of your week. We'll see you on Thursday for the wellness series. And then just a reminder, any and all of these sessions that we do for community chats and wellness series are all on our website. You guys can catch the whole replay, the whole presentation, download the whole thing. It's always available to you guys to share if your friends can't make it, or you just want to rewatch it. So thank you guys so much for your time.
And yeah, please really quick, guys, if you guys know, we would definitely love to help and support you. Please hit up me and Sam, or hit up our Instagram, and or tag us and let us know if you're doing live stream or anything like that. We'd love to help support you and spread the word and really bring the female DJ, the community together. And whether you're in Nashville or in San Francisco, or Japan or Paris, I think us as women, especially in this industry, we never really had anything. So that's really what Ladies of Sound is trying to do, is trying to, from you, Stephanie, from I don't have anybody, but now we have the internet, and that's the beauty of what COVID, I feel, has done for us, is really given us a chance to talk to everyone from everywhere. So please send us your info, guys. Stay in touch. And again, reach out to us. And if there's anybody you'd like to nominate for a Sisterhood Spotlight or even a community chat, me and Sam are open ears. And if you guys want to talk about anything else, we are definitely open. So thank you, Angela, again.
Thank you.
Definitely an inspiration, girl. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, ladies.
Bye.